Welcome to Bloodbath & Beyond. Today we review Friday the 13th, Part 7, The New Blood. Jason's back, but this time, someone's waiting.
Directed by John Carl Buechler, starring Lar Park-Lincoln, Terry Kiser, Kevin Spirtas, and Kane Hodder as Jason Voorhees. The New Blood is about Tina, a girl with psychic powers that accidentally killed her father when she was a child by destroying their dock at Camp Crystal Lake. Years later, her mom and her doctor go back up to the cottage, and Tina accidentally uses her psychic powers to break the chains on Jason Voorhees as he was chained to a rock sitting at the bottom of the lake, and there's a cabin full of kids right next door.
What I like about you,
What?
you hardly sweat at all. You want to get high?
This is a recommendation from our boy Deke over on Patreon, the top donator, and he recommended the entire Friday franchise, and here we are at number 7, the psychic one, the weird one. It was an interesting rewatch. It is a popular franchise, as I'm sure you're all aware, so we will be talking spoilers. So if you haven't seen this entry, make sure you watch it first, or else we will spoil it. So what do we like? I like the weird shit.
I completely agree. It was just so out there that I just shut my brain off and had a blast.
You're more interested in this telekinetic stuff than you are in me.
That is not true, Tina.
Bullshit!
Because when you think of like the Friday series, you're like, okay, this is that one, then there's the psychic one, you're like, oh, well, it's not that bad. The idea of the psychic, it comes out of nowhere, and it works somehow. I'm glad it was introduced early on. You immediately find out that Tina has this ability. When she gets super emotional, she can control stuff with her mind, and it's great.
The fact that we have a showdown and she's using all this psychic powers to like throw stuff at him, electrocute him, basically squish his like head, I thought it was great.
That like squishing scene was awesome, where the mask breaks off and you see this decaying Jason. She threw a fucking couch at the guy. I mean, he's been through more. He was just sitting at the bottom of a lake for like 12 to 15 years. And I'm just like, wow, did you see her throw a couch at him?
There goes the neighborhood.
Did you see her take that potted plant with the head and fly it into Jason's head? Dangerous!
If Tommy Jarvis was watching this, he'd be like, but did you see the shit that I did?
And she's like, well, I blew up my cottage, so I used telekinetic powers to bring the gas hose out and squirt it all over Jason.
It was brilliant. And we did get a really cool Burning Man from that, which leads us to Jason himself, because Kane Hodder, one of the franchise's most notable Jasons, because he does have like a string of Jason movies here. He's in 7, 8, 9, and X as Jason Voorhees and Uber Jason. That one's my favorite. But like Kane Hodder really owns this role. Not only does Jason look badass with his like exposed spine and his like extremely pruned body from just hanging out in water forever, but he does a lot of stunts. Like he's just getting his ass kicked or like falling through the stairs, even jumping through a window and the fire suit. There's a lot of cool stunts.
I also find him to be the more stealthy of the Jasons out there for 2 scenes in particular. The one where they're in the kitchen and he's just like creeping in the corner. But my personal favorite is by the water, where he's like just finishes killing someone, girl pops her head out of the water, he's gone, and then seconds later he's like popping out of the water. I liked our characters.
Eddie, where are you going?
I got a date with a soap on a rope.
I felt like we had a good variety and we got to know everybody, which was good because it was like, I want to see Melissa die.
Melissa, I don't even like you.
She's gonna go like the very end and have like a really good death. And like I'm caring for all the other couples. For a film that revolves around someone coming back from the dead and telekinetic powers, they brought in some really good character development. I enjoyed the cinematography. We have that nice mix of long takes and having Jason creeping up behind people. So you have those like genuine like jump scare moments where he's gonna like appear from behind, like put a hand on like someone's shoulder or like kill them. You know, like as someone's sticking their head out the window, they're going to get killed.
We got some nudity, we got some babes, we got that weird underwater vagina butthole shot. Didn't expect that. And it's in the theatrical trailer somehow.
It's a Sean Donahue special.
Shout out to Robin. Robin is the highlight for me. There's not a lot of nudity. There's like a couple flashes here and there, but a lot of people were having sex. Ben and his girl in the back of the van. Unfortunately, our frisky couple got the raw end of the deal there. Oh, that was a weird way to say that. Okay.
Yeah, right. Happy fucking birthday.
I will say Ben's death looks way cooler in the work print. We'll talk about that later. But his kill sucked in this movie, but is awesome what was actually originally shot. And speaking of which, we'll go to the dislikes and we will talk about this. The kills in this movie suck. They're almost all off screen and were cut from the film. The only footage that exists was on like a work print that was sent to somebody. They didn't have the actual negatives. They were destroyed, but almost every kill was extended and it was awesome in the work print.
Which sucks because one of my favorite deaths in this franchise is the sleeping bag death. It still looks great with one swing to the tree, but when you look at the actual original version, it is graphic.
Every death looks so much better in the work print, and I'm so sad that it wasn't the final cut. I kind of understand as far as like, at the time, maybe they would have gotten like a weird rating that couldn't get them into theaters or something, and the final version, and so that's what we're basing this on, the kills were lacking because everything was off screen.
It's fine if it happens every so often, you get an off-screen kill, but the fact that we don't get like any on-screen kills is very disappointing.
And it takes away from the build-up. Like Dr. Cruz, we found out that he's abusing his power to try and harness the psychic power of Tina for some reason that is unknown.
Bad news, Cruz.
And you want him to kind of get hurt because he uses Tina's mom as a shield, which is kind of a dick move too. And it's like, oh, he's gonna get this ultra weed whacker and kick the shit out of him, and it just like immediately cuts. The same is true for some of the characters. So there are some characters that we got to learn, and I did like most of them.
What do you think of Starlacan?
But there are some that you just don't really care for. You don't understand their motivations. It seems like a lot of people just like to go walking in the woods randomly. It's like, oh, I'm gonna go here. I'm gonna go look for Tina, or I'm just gonna go do this and figure something out. And I thought that was stupid.
There is some strange decisions in this film. Tina's making a big deal about her mom being out of the woods, and she like even says like, okay, Nick, you go look for her. I'll wait here for my mom. But then like the next shot, Nick comes back and Tina's out running in the woods looking for her mom.
Where's Tina?
Psych ward, how should I know?
So many odd things happen. Not to the point where it's like, oh no, Jason's in the house, let's run upstairs. That is a decision you've come to learn and know is going to happen in a horror movie. We're talking about like weird story points that they've emphasized and then did the exact opposite in the next shot.
You can tell that there were other major things that would have driven these characters to go do certain other activities that would have motivated them to go and walk around. But we don't see that, so we have no idea. So all we see is the wandering part.
What are you doing?
What are you doing? Let's go find a place with some privacy.
As much as I liked Lar Park-Lincoln, the acting was fine and I thought she did a good job, but I think that the character is really weird.
He's my doctor. He came out to help me from the mental hospital. You know, with my luck, you're probably gonna turn out to be another delusion.
And even just the fact that Nick comes over randomly, a random guy that we don't know that they know each other because she hasn't been to this cabin since she was a kid, right? He just comes over like, hey, you wanna come to a party? And she's like, yep, see you later. Based on her past, growing up in a mental institution, I cannot see her just saying,
Let's go. Bye. Bye.
and her mom allowing it as well.
And like when you look at the whole Dr. Cruz storyline, they reveal near the end that he has the clippings for all the killings that Jason has done over the years at Camp Crystal Lake, but we actually get no exposition for what his plan is because he's made hints that he's using Tina to do something. He's tying it into like all the killings in Jason, but there's actually no connection.
And I understand that people will say, hey, why are you trying to dissect a telekinetic lady resurrecting Jason movie?
If we don't, no one will.
Literally thousands of people probably have. Actually, no, it's more likely that a lot of people have just said, this is the best because it's a Jason movie. We see that a lot. Pump the brakes here. There's a lot of plot holes, and they are worth pointing out because they are actual criticism. The only reason the Friday franchise gets a pass is because you've loved it and you like Jason. We're here to kick it straight. I like Jason too. I got his fucking name tattooed on my arm. And a lot of people come at me sideways when I insult anything Friday. Guys, I fucking love Friday the 13th franchise. Don't give me this shit.
Even though this film was super crazy and fun, I just couldn't wrap my head around the ending. It was predictable, and I wasn't happy that her dad saved the day.
And the fact that like his body was taken back. It would be a metaphorical thing. here, but this was a physical thing. This was a physical man reincarnated from something, somewhere, like he wasn't buried under this fucking dock.
He looked good as new when he popped through that deck.
Yeah, I didn't love the ending. And it did become way more cheesy when she was doing like the fire thing in the basement. Like I thought it was funny and it is like campy and it's definitely a different vibe from a lot of the other films, but it was weird. I'm shocked that this influenced Halloween 2018's ending. That's not a fact, by the way. I have no idea, but it's the same ending. Except for the whole zombie dad. Now it's time for our final thoughts and ratings. This was certainly a unique entry in the Friday franchise, and I did enjoy myself. I think Lar Park-Lincoln did an excellent job as Tina, and Kane Hodder as Jason is just a massive standout in the franchise because he does all the coolest stunts, and he has the coolest kills as well. Unfortunately, they are hidden from the regular cut of this film, which is a massive dislike for me. I did enjoy a lot of our characters, but I also didn't think that anyone had any true motivations, but I did like the story and I liked the general vibe. It's an enjoyable film, but it's not one of the best in the franchise, so I'm gonna give this 3 personal penis enlargers out of 5.
This film has a different concept than what you would be familiar with Friday movies, especially if you're watching them in chronological order, but strangely enough, I enjoyed this weird turn. It just was fun. Kane Hodder looks the part, everything is believable that Kane Hodder does. He's aggressive, he physically takes the hits and you feel it, but everything else you don't feel on screen because it just cuts away to something else. But that doesn't mean you can't enjoy this film for what it is. I liked our characters, I liked the situations that were put in, and from a technical standpoint, it looked good cinematically. So with that being said, I'm gonna give this film 3.5. Welcome to prime time, bitches, out of 5.
As always, thank you for watching. Like this video and comment below with your thoughts on the film if you've seen it. If you haven't and you do want to check it out, links are in the description. I highly recommend the Scream Factory Awesome box set. It's so good, and then you can have yourself access to the work print so you can see the cool kills. And if this is your first time here, make sure you subscribe to the channel, stay up to date with everything Bloodbath and beyond.